In a world where the spotlight often shines brightest on physical health, the landscape of mental well-being remains shrouded in shadows. Here we'll embark on a touching exploration of the complexities, challenges, and triumphs within the realm of mental health. Through the intimate narratives of common people, this documentary unveils the multifaceted layers of the human mind, seeking to dismantle stigmas, foster empathy, and ignite conversations that have long been silenced. Join us on a transformative journey as we delve into the depths of the psyche, where resilience, vulnerability, and hope intertwine to paint a portrait of strength in the face of adversity. Welcome to the Mind Unmasked.
My name is Kristen Morey, and I'm 16 years old. I'm turning 17 in May. I haven't been diagnosed with anything, but I've also never met with a professional. But I do experience symptoms of anxiety and other symptoms of other disorders.
I'm Sophia Gashard. I'm 22. Can't believe that. I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder. I think sophomore year of high school, and I was recently diagnosed with ADHD. I have depressive tendencies, but it's not necessarily a diagnosis. But yeah.
My mental health is, honestly, it's gotten a lot better over time, but it still feels like a jigsaw puzzle with some of the pieces missing, or it's just very easily put on hold for the things like school and deadlines and other activities that are happening outside of school. So overall, it's not my highest priority at the moment.
If I'm being honest, it's not great. It's kind of been up and down recently. I just got out of college a year ago, so it's kind of just been trying to figure myself out, trying to figure out if this degree is actually going to help me. I kind of went into a field that's very subjective. Art is very much, pleasant to whatever beholder likes it specifically. So it's kind of hard to appeal to everybody or do something correctly every time because it's art and you can't do that. You can't please everybody.
I think growing up with three sisters honestly taught me a lot about communication skills, even if there was none in my house. That's something that I appreciate a lot more, and I try to be transparent with the people that I meet because of having to communicate so often within our house.
Essentially, it was a very toxic sort of conglomeration. I remember I didn't have a father figure most of my life. Still kind of, well, I do now, but I still kind of didn't for all the way up until, 18, 19, until my fiance's dad came into the picture. That was a long time, but before then, it was me grasping onto any male figure in my life. So teachers, my archery coach, people who I thought could help me, I guess, now that I'm looking back on it.
I think the environment that a child or anyone grows up in or is exposed to is the biggest factor to their upbringing as a person. So yes, I grew up in multiple environments, such as the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I grew up in kind of a small neighborhood with a lot of duplexes and a lot of people, and being in that environment was very, kind of suffocating. Like, my house growing up with 5 other people in it has always been loud and busy, so trying to find refuge outside, but that not being a safe place to do so, definitely changed how much I enjoyed nature.
I didn't know what a good father figure was because I've only ever grown up with a man who wanted control over his family and over everyone around him. So I guess part of that upbringing also leads me to I am trying to both please him, mom, and to also not be like my dad. I've spent most of my life trying to be as far away from who he is as a person, because I don't like him, at the very least. I think he's hurt a lot of people, and I don't want to do that. And I guess my mental health kind of plays a part in that. I have the same aspirations as he does, and that scares me. It really, really does.
My environment was, especially with my dad, his parents were a Navy corpsman that was absent for a lot of his life, and then an immigrant from the Philippines. So him growing up in a super strict household shaped him to where he would do wrestling and have unhealthy eating habits. So in my house, that translated to me as having unhealthy eating habits with being forced to eat everything on your plate because you don't want to waste food, because in the Philippines, my mima would struggle with that. He's a lot more carefree because of living in such a strict environment, so it didn't ever feel like he cared, but that's where my mom would come in and make sure to keep reins on her 4 kids.
So I've always been wired differently, and I think that mixed with my environment has kind of created this concoction that isn't entirely fun, but it's who I am and it's what I live with. So yeah.
The experiences, good or bad, that you experience as a person growing up shapes you to however you are in the present day. So even though there were bad experiences throughout my life with like bulimia and anorexia and all of those things, those shaped me to who I am today, and I'm a happier person now that I actually expose myself to different foods. But if I never came from a house that would like encourage you to either eat more or always eat less, then that would have never been a point in my life.
Yeah, so I don't want to say it's the entirety of my mental illness, because it's not really true. It definitely lends a very big part into it, because I feel like if I had a little bit more stability, I would be a little bit more balanced at the very least.
I think that therapy is important because there are professionals that research things about the human mind, and having somebody that can talk about that with you other than just a friend is way better, because you can get answers and they're trained to help you work through your emotions, because it's a skill. It's not something you can't push off your emotions, you have to work through them, and therapy is important for people to get what they need in that.
So like I mentioned before, I've been in therapy since I was a sophomore in high school. It helps. I will say that. It definitely helps. I think therapy is a very good tool. Honestly, everybody should have it. Whether you think you have an illness or not, I think it's really important to navigate life with therapy, because it really gives you, a guidebook onto how to function in life. Now, is it going to have all the answers? No. They can't just be like, okay, do this, take this job, take these classes, and everything will work out fine. That's not really the case. It definitely helps mitigate and learn how to live with all of the symptoms that come with a mental illness.
My dad takes so much medicine. So I know that he has so many mental health issues, like just being able to process things within his head. He has emotions, so even though I know that has manifested within me and my 3 other sisters, we've never been to a therapist. We've never been to any, the psychiatrists. We've never been to anybody. So even though I know that we all definitely have problems and we would benefit from knowing what they are and being diagnosed, it's not something that we've ever done.
Now, medication, it doesn't always work for everybody, for sure. With me, it's definitely helped a bit. It tends to calm my brain down a minute. It kind of gives me a minute to think.
I think that medication is it's only helpful if you're also trying, because there are like uppers and downers, and my dad takes both. And I think they kind of cancel each other out. So I think medication can be a gateway into helping you with anything that you have going on, and that prescriptions for something mental are just as important as prescriptions for something physical that you have to take.
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely helps. For a while, it helped me think better. Helped me calm down and not freak out and what's the word? Catastrophize everything. But yeah.
I think it's different for everybody because everyone has different values based off of their upbringing, so people are always trying to achieve something different. Like, your life goal could be something I don't want anything to do with. So I think success is dependent on what you want in life. Because for me, I am most successful whenever I'm surrounded by people that I love and trust, not by being surrounded by material things, but I value the other things, like memories. That's why having high school prom is so enjoyable for me, and taking pictures and everything, because memories are the most important things I think I'll have, even in my old age.
Life's too short to sit down and wallow in your own misery. And that is rich coming from me. But I'm working on it, and I think it's for the best for me, and I think everybody should also work on that, because in the end, you are the one who's really going to have your back. So be your own biggest cheerleader. As hard as it is, just try, because you'll get it.